I wasted a lot of time, but my topic is on DSEC in complicated scenarios. So I'm going to run you through some of the videos which are little unusual conditions needing DSEC. The first situation is when I've done DSEC in a case who had trauma. Pehle video, who had trauma and had a scleral fixated aniridic IOL and with bullous keratopathy. The second case I'm going to show is where I did the DSEC in a case of PBK with the IOL which was malpositioned, haptic was in front of the iris, you know. And third video is a case of a trauma. This is a case I'm trying to show you. ये light बंद कर दो तो ठीक है. A case which had a trauma, had suturing done somewhere there, and had an aniridic IOL. So my technique is that I make a temporal tunnel and I take the size which is 3 millimeter less than white to white, mark my side ports, and I always put a AC maintainer inside. इसमें कुछ वो है नहीं क्या? AC maintainer inside, and I use a 25 gauge infusion. Here I had a problem that which I realized only after I started doing the surgery, that there were sutures present of the IOL which was fixated. So I had to change my site from traditional 9 o'clock. I had to go supratemporal, and after that I stained so as to mark the endothelium. Here the desmus was scarred. I couldn't remove it completely, and after that I insert the lenticule which has been automated prepared. I remove my lenticule in this manner so that I have no trauma at all actually, and with a 30 gauge needle I just push the lenticule in and gently trying to secure my lenticule in with the sutures. I close my tunnel and I used a C3F8 gas in that because there was no iris diaphragm. C3F8 non-expansile concentration, and I definitely suture all my side ports because I want no leakage. This keeps me secure. I remove the next day, and after that I do iron it out so as to remove the interface fluid if at all. This is a second case which has got a IOL. You can see IOL has got a haptic in front of the iris. I wasn't too sure whether PC was intact or not. UBM did not really reveal the PC status. So in this case, after I got the IOL in the AC, did a desmus scouring. Again, the desmus, you can say this is not normally the way I do this thing, but it was very scarred. There was a premature entry. I had gone superiorly in this patient. I removed the original IOL from this patient, and though there was no vitreous, and then I put a retrofixated IOL in this patient. So this is a retrofixated IOL, and I dipped the iris through both the claws on the posterior side at 3 and 9 o'clock. The visibility was a major issue and there was hypotony, and after that, after I was very sure that the IOL was in its place, I pushed the iris back and then I put the lenticule and I closed it, and then after this I put a heel on here over the glide, remove my superior stroma, and then I put the lenticule and then gently remove the glide, and superiorly pupil was slightly deformed because it had some synechia, and left the thing like that. I'll show you the post-ups. This is a third case who had come to us with a history of corneal trauma, and I could see a glass foreign body lying in this patient. So I went ahead and I did first a phaco. In a sense, I've done a rhexis here. You can see I'm nudging the glass foreign body lying in the angle area, and I first removed the glass foreign body. Yeah, this is the glass foreign body coming from the angle area. Then went ahead and did a conventional phaco, put the IOL, and this is when I'm inserting the IOL, and then after that went ahead and did the DSEC conventionally in the proper manner. So these three cases, I just want to show that they were different scenarios. And with judicious use, you can go ahead and manage these tough cases also. I'll show you the post-op of these cases. This is the case again. Since this technique works best in my hand, so I have not even tried to change it. I usually use 7.5 to 8 millimeter donor lenticule and push it through the lens glide. And it has worked very well, so I do not have any extra rebubbling rates or anything like that. And this is what I will show you the post-op of these cases. This is the case which I showed you. Yeah, so this was the case which I showed you, which had a bullous keratopathy. You can see the haptic is lying over the iris. I was not sure about the PC status. This is the pre-op corneal thickness, which is 761 micron. And this is the post of 636. And this is the post-op ASOCT. This is another case of eye syndrome. And this we have tried to show that there are a lot of these iridolenticular adhesions which are present, shallow AC, cornea is decompensated, and I could remove a retrocorneal membrane, did a DSEK in this patient, and at 1 month post-op, I could get a clear graft, and patient has a vision of 6/9 in this case. There's another case which I'm trying to show you is of aniridic IOL, the video which I showed you. This is how the patient presented to us. This was a patient 1 month. Now, of course, the clarity is even much better. And this is the ASOCT showing the lenticule is very well opposed to the host cornea and thickness of 79 microns. And this is how the aniridic IOL has come in the ASOCT. So this is my technique to go ahead with DSEK in these complicated scenarios. Thank you very much.
Which OCT is this? The images are beautiful.
This is Zeiss. Yes.
Did you find the NC wound of that particular foreign body, glass particle?
Yes, we then looked at it. In the cornea, there was an oblique scar at 4 o'clock area. And I could somehow avoid it. I could actually strip the decimates of that. He was an auto rickshaw driver, and he just came to us that some injury he had had, and that's all. I mean, no suturing, nothing. But I could find a faint scar over there, and when I was examining the patient, he had decompensated cornea, early cataract, and only when I did my slit from one angle to another, I could see something shimmering in the angle area, and I picked up there was a glass fallen body. And then he said that the pane in front of him had actually broken the screen. Sorry, say again.
Any trick for doing DSEK if ACIOL is in there?
ACIOL.
ACIOL.
I have done quite a few with ACIOL in. Now it depends whether you have vitreous accompanying the ACIOL or not, and how well the ACIOL is positioned. If ACIOL is nicely positioned, no vitreous, I go with the conventional DSEK like this, and they have done very well. But if there is vitreous, IOL is not properly placed, then I would remove that IOL, and I would go with the retrofixated IOL the way I showed you. I do vitrectomy, and then I go with the retrofixated IOL, and then I do a DSEK with that.
Any problem if you do DSEK with ACIOL without vitreous? If ACIOL is there and you are doing DSEK, any issue?
Make sure that the pupil becomes small. That is one thing you have to make sure. The pupil becomes small and AC is reasonably deep. AC has to be deep to do that.
So thank you, madam.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll go to the